What's up, everybody? 5869 here with a rematch, actually, from the AD2L Season 9. We're going to have Team Chunch going up against the Electric Panther experience once again. I believe last time, if I remember correctly, it was a 2-0 for Team Chunch. I want to say 2-0 or 1-1, but I believe it was a 2-0 for Team Chunch, so seems like they're going to be facing each other again, and nevertheless, the last games were pretty good. We'll just go through the teams real quick. It's going to be Salidas drafting up for the Electric Panther experience. Alongside him, he's going to have Nilla Mac, Nyar something. Can't pronounce that one. Nyar Lithotep. Nyar Lithotep. Let's go with that one. And then we're going to have Scrub as well. Meanwhile, on Team Chunch, General is going to be drafting Devin Wargod. He was there last time. Filter as well. Spooky Boogie could be a stand-in. Aether. I think Spooky Boogie is either... I think his name was Spy versus Spy. Or he's a stand-in for Spy versus Spy, maybe. I can't remember that well. It was quite a while ago. But anyways, pretty excited for this series. Devin Wargod did send it in to me over Twitter. He asked me to cast it. So hopefully I'm not going to let him down whatsoever. As it looks like Dyer's going to get rid of the Doom and the Queen of Pain. Radiant, however, going to get rid of that IO as well as +1. So normally we don't see IO get banned out unless they know that somebody's a good IO player. It's not necessarily the hardest hero, but even just one or two misrelocates could cost you the game. So we see teams not really that confident in picking it. They like to pick, more straightforward support, stuff like that. They're going to get rid of the Winter Wyvern as well. So now Dyer got a pretty open pool. They've got Shadow Fiend, Tuskar, Darkseer still left here. Slardar as well. And they'll pick up the Shadow Fiend. That's going to leave the Electric Panther experience. I imagine they'll go something like Slardar, Tuskar. I think that's the best. Maybe the Slardar Dazzle, actually could be a little bit better, because then at least they're probably not going to pick Huskar up against the Slardar, because I think already that's fairly tough. But if they can get Dazzle, they may. So you get rid of the Dazzle, you give yourself some bonus armor up against the Shadow Fiend. I think Slardar Dazzle is probably the best opener. And instead they're going to go for the Vengeful Spirit, so something a little different. Really, really negative armor heavy here. So I think if you are going to pick up the Huskar, it's going to be against a lot of physical damage. Very scary to do so. We see the Huskar last pick really just absolutely wrecking teams, but I really don't think it's going to be in Team Chunch's toolbox of heroes as second pick, though. They've still got the Tuskar, the Darkseer, or the Dazzle, and I can't believe so many strong heroes actually getting through the pool right now. I think it could be some weird dual lane setup with the Slardar Vengeful Spirit, so they do leave their lanes fairly open here. They're going to go with the Bane as well. So Bane, a very solid pick here. I'm going to be able to hopefully sleep that Slardar, lock him down. Don't let him sprint around these team fights and continue to blink in and out, get off these crushes, stuff like that. While Clinks is going to be the ban over here for the Dyers. So really, really scared of that potential of physical damage that the Clinks would bring alongside the Slardar and the Vengeful Spirit. Certainly understandable, but not necessarily the best hero, in my opinion. Maybe they just want to get rid of something because they're not really sure what they want to pick, and maybe they're expecting that both teams want it, whatever. But we still, of course, have heroes like Juggernaut and Phantom Assassin in the pool. We've seen them, Phantom Lancer. We've seen them get a little bit more use recently. Dazzle will be banned out now. Dazzle Bane, quite a nice combo. Undying still in the pool as well, though. So if you've got a good Undying player, could be just as annoying as a Dazzle, especially alongside a Bane. You've got a couple tools to save these heroes, and Dyer, we'll see what they're going to want to get rid of. Darkseer, Tuskar still in the pool, although Slardar probably going to be the offlaner. Tuskar still could be run as a support. Darkseer, not so much. Probably won't see him get picked up by the Electric Panther experience. If anything, they'll probably ban the Darkseer themselves here. So, just waiting. We've still got Gyro in the pool as well. We've seen him be quite successful in a multitude of tournaments dating back to TI5. So, realistically, always going to be a solid pick to grab that Gyro. And Earthshaker going to be banned out here. So, surprisingly enough, maybe expecting to support Earthshaker. A very good hero for roaming alongside the Venge. Makes it really scary for that Shadow Fiend to lane if he doesn't have eyes on the Earthshaker. And, if the Earthshaker's just pulling, stacking, stuff like that, Shadow Fiend has to play a lot safer in his lane, because Fissure is enormous initiation range, and then Vengeful Spirit just runs up, gives the stun, and it doesn't take much else in a mid hero to really end that. So Nagasai going to be banned out from the Radiant, maybe not wanting to have to deal with that late game presence. Again, we've still got Gyrocopter, Windrunner. I think Windrunner would do exceptionally well with the Slardar Vengeful Spirit combo. They've got a lot of negative armor. You've got the bonus physical damage boost from the Venge. If somehow the Windrunner is out of positioning, you can always swap her back, and it's very difficult to kill her because you've kind of got to nuke her down. She's got that wind run. Once it hits level 4, it's really, really strong. It's on, I think, like a 12-second cooldown, and I want to say 4-second duration, something like that. So the physical damage isn't going to be there. You're going to have to burst her down. You've got the swap with the Venge, and they're going to go with the Lina. And Lina I really like as well, whether it's mid lane or a support. I think she's such a flexible hero. Of course, now Team Chunch is going to have to think, do we ban out another support? Is this a Lina support or is it a Lina mid? So maybe going to have to waste their 5th ban on a support, something they maybe don't want to. But I do like Lina. She did receive some nerfs, but I think 850 pure damage is still a ton of pure damage. She still stands up pretty well, excuse me, in the mid lane, especially since it's a Dire Shadow Fiend. It's not a Radiant Shadow Fiend, so he can't as easily just nuke down the wave at 35 and then leave to the jungle, have, 5 stacks by 7-ish minutes, and then just completely clear through those. So I think she can definitely stand in the mid lane against the Shadow Fiend for sure. A lot of it, though, around this level really comes down to, mid laner versus mid laner, who's just generally better. The matchups, it's not the highest of skills where it's all about the matchup. It's more about who's just generally a better mid player. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, see who really takes the mid, and from there maybe snowball off either high levels into the Shadow Fiend. You've got tons of points in a raise, perhaps getting a Shadow Blade early on, or the Lina if she can really get that early Bloodstone into an Aghanim Scepter, Blink Dagger, Yule Scepter, whatever you may want. And Team Chunch gonna pick up that Spirit Breaker. So oddly enough, despite the fact that they do have some stuns to cancel that Spirit Breaker charge, Light Strike Array, as well as the Vengeful Spirit's Magic Missile, really easy cancels on that charge if they can see it coming. So a little bit odd one there, but that is a good frontline tank here for the Shadow Fiend. For the Bane, Spirit Breaker just charges in. Maybe they have to waste a stun or two on him, and then all of a sudden you've got a Fiend's Grip that you can't cancel. So I do kind of like how that may work out. Electric Panther experience, sorry, kind of early here. Going on to their next pick here. So probably going to look for their core. Again, Juggernaut and the Gyrocopter, both still in the pool. Very, very strong candidates here. I think most notably the Juggernaut, probably going to be more solid than the Gyrocopter. He's got that spin, so if you can see that that grip coming, you just spin. You ignore majority of the damage. It's not like a BKB, so it doesn't reduce in duration, so that later on in the game, the Fiend's Grip just gets stronger and stronger. Spirit Breaker, he's not that bad at dealing with the Spirit Breaker as well. In the offlane in general, he should still have a fine time. Gyrocopter sure would do better in a one-on-one or a 3-on-1 situation up against the Spirit Breaker, but I think the Juggernaut is certainly a good pick. If he gets a lot of farm, he's easily able to chew through the Shadow Fiend. Gonna have to force him maybe into something like a Manta style that he might not want to build, but when you have the Omni Slash, you've really got to start utilizing some items around that. So either the Manta style, the Yule Scepter, just make them build a little bit less like they would want to. So I do think the Juggernaut's probably the best pick here. You can do a Roshan very early on with that healing ward, of course, with a Vengeful Spirit as well as the Slardar, and it will be a core Lina, most likely a core Lina, and a support Abaddon here. So they've got themselves some nice sustain on the back of that Abaddon. Phantom Lance are going to be picked up here, though, and they're kind of lacking on AoE damage. Now I think they need to go for the Gyrocopter. It would be such a fantastic ban for the Dagger. You could still move into, a Battle Fury Jug after that, and it wouldn't be as bad, but I really do think the Gyro is probably the better of the two, especially early on. So we'll really see how that one works out for them, but Phantom Lancer as well as Shadow Fiend, very scary combo there. Later on in the game, they're going to be doing a lot of AoE damage as well as plenty of single target damage, so they've really got to kind of pick this last core. Well, they're going to get rid of the Lich over here on the Radiant, so that's a nice pick for sure. They don't want any lane to be losing out on, a creep every so often, and it is quite annoying. Lich able to spam out, and look at that, they're going to ban out the Ember Spirit. Another solid pickup. Surprised I actually didn't even think about that one. So Ember Spirit, he's going to be gone as the last ban, and Electric Panther experience. Probably going to use the last 10 of those 15 seconds in their reserve time, maybe, just to really ensure that they get the best pick possible. Talk about the game a little bit, talk about how they want to make their movements early on, how they're going to need to perhaps shut down this Phantom Lancer. I think the Abaddon is a fantastic counter to the Bane, and they don't really have much lockdown outside of the Bane on Team Chunch, so they're going to go for this Fen. So still looking for the cleave to eat through this Phantom Lancer, but it's going to be difficult. He's going to be losing a lot of his mana later on in the game, and he's going to have to, get a BKB as soon as that Phantom Lancer gets a Diffusal Blade, and then from there, it's you really got to use your BKB either for the grip or for the Diffusal coming out from the Phantom Lancer, and it's certainly difficult. So we'll see. We'll see. This is going to be, so far I'm liking Team Chunch and their draft a little bit more than the Electric Panther experience. I think this last pick is really going to tell it. We've still got the Witch Doctor in the pool, surprisingly enough, and Dazzle did get banned out. Winter Wyvern getting banned out. Who else could be strong here? I think the Witch Doctor is probably the best bet. Cask is just so incredibly strong here. Can't really purge off Cask if you're Abaddon, because there's always the, the option, or he could just get it bounced right back, and then, you just wasted your shield to get rid of that initial stun duration. Of course, any melee hero is going to have to get right up close, and they do have a lot of stun, though, to cancel that Death Ward, which could be a big annoyance here. And they're going to go with the Darkseer, so support Spirit Breaker, or perhaps dual. It's most likely actually going to be dual lane Spirit Breaker, Darkseer, dual lane Phantom Lancer, Bane. I think they're quite comfortable going up against the tri-lane of Abaddon's Fen as well as Venge. They can't really pressure it too much, but they should be able to stay alive, get whatever farm they need, and then that's just going to leave Devin in the mid lane. So I really like this draft. They're going to be fairly greedy with their lanes, most likely, as both teams picking up a smoke already level 1. Are we going to see a little bit of a level 1 smoke behind these runes and somewhat of a fight here? Is Nilla going to grab that Ring of Protection, some regen, and move to the top lane with that Observer Ward here? As I think a lot of it's going to most likely come down to how this initial laning stage works out. Who can snowball more off the mid lane? If they can somehow try to punish these most likely dual lanes over here from the Dire, if they can punish those dual lanes, they can probably be quite a bit more successful. Only one tango on the SF here. I'm going to be looking to get out that salve incredibly quickly. Going to drop the Clarity in this mid lane so that they can put up the ward on the Darkseer here. As maybe they will just run it as a tri-lane here. Looks like the entirety of the Radiant going to go bot lane. Grab that ward, while the Dire doing the exact opposite. They're going to go to the top lane and make sure that they can get that one as well here. So Slardar, surprisingly enough, even down bot. Looks like he will place his ward. Just going to secure the rune here. Shadow Fiend going to do the same. And both of them most likely going to buy the salve. Take a look at Solitas. Not going to buy the salve just yet. Has the gold for it. Maybe not, thinking he needs it. But especially if the SF is going to ferry one out, you're certainly going to need to. He'll just probably trade a majority of that regen, since two tangos do have quite a long cooldown before he can use them. And it looks like he's not going to go for it here just yet. So keep an eye on the mid lane here, as will probably be the most important. Devin does go for Souls first, so we're not going to grab the Raise. It is the dual lanes as we had predicted earlier on, as the Darkseer filter will throw out that fairly safe Observer Ward. Looks like they are going to just dodge this, though, and go for an aggressive tri-lane to prevent the PL from doing much here. So, going to be a little bit of an odd choice, as the Spirit Breaker actually going to rotate to the top lane. And it makes sense, really. The Darkseer is going to have a perfectly fine time up against Nilla here. He should actually be able to out-CS him, as well as make it very difficult for him to comfortably stay in the lane with the Ion Shell. Once he hits about level 4, he has the 2 points in Ion Shell and most likely the Soul Ring at that point. It's going to be very difficult, as looks like the Electric Panther experience going to be able to get a lot of CS under tower here. Just have to keep an eye on this side pull. Going to be very important for both teams. If Chunch can kind of keep it to themselves, use it for the pull through, or if the Electric Panther experience, like they just did, going to use it for the side pull and try to deny as much as they can. So, going to be keeping an eye on that one as well. Devin not doing too bad in the mid lane, and Solitas, yeah, looks like Devin, surprisingly enough, not really trading harass that effectively, and actually getting quite low himself here. So he's going to have to use his salve. He already did use his tango there, and now in the mid lane. Solitas is going to be pretty happy here. Won't have to be too worried about Devin just trading harass. He's only got about 300 gold. Needs to play safe so that he can just get enough CS for that bottle here. Runes now spawning. Will be a bounty rune bottom. Filter just going to try and zip away from this one. A little bit afraid of Milla's crush and what he could do. Top lane. Scrub still doing fairly well against General Manager here. Just going to try and right click him, and there's the stun going to go out. Not going to be able to dodge that one. The second stun from the Venge. Is he actually going to go down the charge on the Scrub? Not able to get that one off with the shield, and now it looks like Scrub just going to get charged up. Spooky Boogie maybe in a little bit of trouble. Has to be careful. As Naya just going to trade a few right clicks there, and that was getting very scary for General Manager. Some beautifully stacked stuns here as Filter just going to move into the jungle. Getting a little bit scared of the lane. Not as confident in here. And it looks like Solitas in the mid lane does manage to grab his bottle now as well. Thankfully enough. Not going to get sniped as now Nayar got to be a little bit careful. Scrub going to run alongside here as Mac looks like he probably did give him a quick little heal there. Doesn't have any regen. Only a TP and a branch here. Trying to hold on to that TP in order to save Solitas if anything does get a little bit sketchy in this mid lane. Devin very close now. Has to be careful. Nice deny coming out from Solitas. Mela gonna go for the crush on a Filter here. Can't really get the kill as he does have Surge off cooldown. Doing quite a bit of damage though, and Filter sticking around perhaps a little bit too long. Probably should have just surged away. Gonna return with the Ion Shell, but that means he won't have one for the creep wave. Going this 1-1-1 build means he really won't be able to pressure Nilla as much. And look at this, Nilla looking to come up from behind. Does use the Mango, and now it looks like Filter maybe in a bit of trouble to crush. Couple right clicks could be enough here. But he's too close to the tower. Nilla's going to have to back off after that one as we do see smoke coming in on the mid lane from both teams here as the smoke will pop from both teams. And Zbane will ping that out. The charge up now onto Solitas, and they're going to cancel that one now. Solitas is going to turn it around. There's the stun to start things off. Life Striker Ray going to land on 2. Look at the damage. First blood going to go to Nayar, and now Spooky Boogie's in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have the charge. Mac even TPing into this one, and it looks like Spooky Boogie will be able to charge towards the top lane. Cancel that one before he goes down. Shadow Fiend going to grab the bounty rune, and First Blood going to go to the way of the Radiant here. So Spooky Boogie got to be careful though, as Scrub could just kind of turn around and stun him, and it looks like that will be the play. So Scrub should be able to get a second kill here. Stun's going to be enough damage, and Spooky Boogie maybe canceling that one a little bit too early on here. Bot lane Filter not doing that well either. Only 5 for Nil up against the Slardar, so Nilla really controlling this lane. Even managing to finish up his Tranquil Boot, so later on he can really tank up a lot of the Sound Shell. He is going to get charged bot, but they certainly won't be able to kill him. If Filter goes for this, he's almost certainly going to die here. And so close to his Shadow Blade, it would be an absolute travesty. Ion Shell going to go out, so it might be close. Doesn't get the crush out just yet. There's the sprint away. Does have the level 6 as well, so Filter got to be a little bit careful. Salve up now as well, so should be quite alright as top lane now Scrub. Still kind of suffering CS-wise, but does manage to find that kill, which is probably even him hitting out in terms of net worth there. So he actually is above the PL just barely. Despite the fact that PL's got quite a few more last hits, that kill really helping out there in that top lane. So very important that he gets that one. A little bit of bottle crowing in the mid lane. Aquila before boots here for Devin. So Solitas really going to be able to chase him down here. He's got to be careful, especially with that range advantage that Solitas has. Could easily get a kill here with the Laguna Blade. It's only level 1, but still a ton of damage, and Solitas playing this one very passive here. Could have gone up for the Light Strike Array, and a couple right clicks on top of that. Should have been able to finish him off with the Dragon Slave, but we'll just back out after that one. As top lane now, Naya looks like he wants to go onto Aether, who's just going to back up there. Looks like the PL will be able to get a kill over here as well. Slardar getting a kill in the bot lane to sleep on the Bane. Doesn't matter, he's going to go down anyways. Charge top on a Mac. Got to be a little bit careful. Looks like they want to make a go on a General Manager. Not enough mana just yet over here for Scrub though, and now Mac is going to throw on the shield. Shouldn't die here. Going to need a couple right clicks before he does. Scrub. A weird clap coming out from a neutral creep, and now you're going to rotate top. Solitas coming up from the backside though, and now General Manager's in a lot of trouble. The Laguna Blade, Light Strike Array, not going to be able to hit there, and now Aether's going to rotate in. There's the sleep as well. Scrub looking for the stun. Won't actually throw it out there, probably just barely out of range, and this is going to leave Devin with enough to pressure the tower here, even popping a DD here, and this is going to be a lot of damage. Going to use the fortification here, and Solitas probably thinking about running straight back home. Does go for the phase boots, so looking for the general right click instead of the rushed Bloodstone here. as Filter still hasn't managed to finish that Soul Ring. And it looks like he's thinking about grabbing a Clarity for himself. Top lane, it looks like Scrub's in a lot of trouble. The charge to go down, the stun, but it doesn't matter. PL's there with the right click. Nair's in a whole lot of trouble as well. He's probably going to go down to the PL yet again. No, the Bane going to be taking that one. And now this top lane has just become an absolute disaster for the Radiant. Net worth-wise, Slardar surprisingly enough ahead of the PL, but the PL starting to get ahead of the Sven now. And this is what I mean. These laning stages are so important. Solita's still doing fairly well here, but the Shadow Fiend now with that level 8 just going to be able to throw out these raises so consistently. That's Abaddon. Just going to pass very closely to Devin. Filter going to throw out the Ion Shell here as Nilla is getting a little low. Probably just going to allow the tower to take a little bit of damage while he can regen up. And nice trade-off there. Going to be pretty comfortable with that one. Is definitely be able to go back into the lane. Devin is going to be looking for this bottom rune here. We do have a smoke still on the Venge. I think that's the second one after she did use it earlier on there to try and kill the SF. And managing to get at least one hero that wasn't the SF, but... General Manager now with the 3 points into that Lance. Going to be so scary. Bane with the haste rune running up towards the mid lane. Solita's perhaps in a little bit of trouble here. Does kind of feel it though, as they don't have vision, but the Bane missing. As well as the Spirit Breaker. The charge is coming in. The Bane running in with the haste rune as well. No level 6 on the Vengeful Spirit, so they can't really hope to save her. And look at that. They're not going to charge in. That's a lot of wasted time now as well. Solita's just going to rotate back into the lane. He'll be quite fine now. Still playing it a little bit safe here. Afraid of the Bane. And we are going to have a disconnect, it seems. So pause out. Unfortunately, Bane did disconnect there. And kind of talk about this one a little bit. As I think the biggest issue that the Dire's going to have here is they don't really care if they get BKBs, right? Like the Shadow Fiends usually likes to go for a BKB. PL not so much realistically, but a lot of their damage is just going to go through that magic immunity. So do they go for the BKB in order to prevent the stuns? Later on it's going to be pure damage. And then outside of that, the Sven's just going to be right clicking anyways. So realistically, the BKB kind of a hard choice for the SF. Does he instead maybe look for something again like the Manta? You can usually dodge the Sven as well as the Vengeful Spirit stun, perhaps even the Lena stun if you're really good. You know, it means you're a lot more efficient. Not as easy, but I think maybe, or you hope the Spirit Breaker is going to be the one charging in, or that your team in general is going to be the initiators. You know, the Blink with the Darkseer, the Spirit Breaker charging in on top of that. You don't have to worry too much about getting stun locked on the SF, on the PL, and from there you can just output as much damage as possible. And then over here on the Radiant, we really don't have any supports that want to get mana boots, right? Like you've got the Abaddon, who does have a fairly shallow mana pool in general, mostly because his abilities are so cheap, as well as, you know, 2 of them not even requiring any mana. So he's got a shallow mana pool. He doesn't really care for mana boots. He likes to go for maybe something like Tranquils, even just leaving the brown boots and then, you know, grabbing another item, using that money towards another item like an urn, a full wand, stuff like that. So it's kind of difficult going up against the PL. The Sven's mana pool as well, very shallow. Won't take long to chew through that. You've got to use an ability or two, hopefully, before, you know, you kind of have mana issues with that PL just burning your mana. You've got to get some BKBs of your own. And once the Radiant has a couple BKBs, the Dire really doesn't have too much. They've got the grip. They've got the Nether Strike, but it's not so much that they're going to be channeling anything or that they need to cancel anything important. Charge, speaking of which, going to be canceled instantaneously here. Scrub taking a little bit of damage from that PL Lance. Bot lane now. Looks like Mac is going to rotate in. Not really a hero that can help out too much to get a kill, though, as the charge looks like it is coming in on Scrub. PL, long range there is Scrub. He's going to have to turn around and stub if he's hoping to stay alive. It looks like he won't be able to do so. Now the sleep on a Naiar, and he's in a lot of trouble. There's a secondary Lance. Can they cancel the TP or kill him beforehand? Yes, they can. Vengeful Spirit's going to go down 5-5 is now the score, and this top lane now is just a complete failure. Net worth-wise, the PL, another 1,000 plus. And it's going to be really difficult now. This Sven, not really a hero that you can play from behind. You really need these items. You need the treads. You need the helm, the mask, whatever it may be. The blink daggers, the BKBs. If not, you're just going to get kited. This PL is going to have an earlier defusal. This Surge on the Darkseer, very spammable, really good. And look at this, Solitas coming into the bot lane, has a haster, and is he going to use his ultimate? Looks like yes, he will. Probably didn't need to do so, but getting a little bit worried that the Darkseer perhaps could have gotten out of that one. So we'll just use it anyways, and that's going to be a fairly nice pick here. Slowing down the Darkseer at the very least is going to limit the initiation potential of Team Chunch at least a little bit. Another smoke up from Solitas in the mid lane. Doesn't have the ultimate, but should have enough damage here. Just with the stun, the Light Strike Array, the Dragon Slave, even the Abaddon here to help out a little bit. And Shadow Fiend playing fairly safe here. There it is. The smoke will break. Light Strike Array not going to be able to land. And look at this, the charge up. They are going to think about turning this one around. Not a lot of mana over here on the Shadow Fiend, but could maybe get a kill. Boogie, oh, almost going in on that one. Light Strike Array was used as well. So not a lot of mana for Solitas now. His top tower is slowly getting pressured out here. Sven trying to do whatever he can. Spot lane now. Nilla going to be getting charged here. A couple Ion Shells on him. Got to be a little bit careful. Will just sprint away, but this means that the charge could do quite a bit of damage. Filter is going to lose a lot of his armor here. And Nilla, not really aware that the charge is coming out. Does actually have the blink away, but doesn't have the crush or anything. There's the surge. Spooky actually canceled that. Oh, what a disaster. Canceling the charge. Hits him right after, but that could have been a kill. Just hoping for a bash. The Ion Shell probably would have been enough to tick him down. And top lane, there's the stun under the Bane. Still has the sleep if he needs to use it. And it looks like he might not even have to. The Brain Sap going to be enough to keep him alive a little bit longer. And now Scrub's got to turn around. Wasted ultimate. Doesn't have his stun either. And it seems like maybe those Solitas and Nyara going to come up from the backside. Solitas turning around. Does have the Light Strike Array. Is going to use it. The PL going to juke that one though. And they know exactly who he is. Does have enough mana for the stun as well as the Laguna thrown out right after that one. And they will manage to turn that one around on the PL. It looks like the Bane maybe thinking about a Brain Sap, but the bottle up on Solitas means he won't be able to get the kill. No charge up from the Spirit Breaker to try and prevent that. And 7-5, a nice little change over here for the Radiant, especially Solitas getting a nice big chunk of that. 261 gold, 240 EXP flat for the three of them. And Solitas going to rotate back into the mid lane. Has to be careful. Spirit Breaker thinking about the charge in the backside though. Now they've got the Venge. No level 6 on the Venge though. There's the stun on a Devon War God. The charge from Spooky Boogie. And now Nyara's got to be in careful. And look at that. There's the blink stun from Nilla. Devon War God's in a whole lot of trouble. He's going to go down. It seems so. He still left the mission. It's not going to work out though. Solitas is going to trade his life for the SF. Max going to pop the ultimate. Nilla continuing the chase. Has the crush. But now the PL just doing so much work. The runaway from the Spirit Breaker just barely getting out on like 10% HP there. Nilla sprinting up, looking for the blink crush, but it doesn't matter. Spirit Breaker charge TP. He's going to be able to get out of that one now. And who did that one favor? The Dire really coming out ahead after getting the 2 kills there. Unfortunately, they split a majority of the gold going to Solitas, but just dying right after. Not going to be able to spend a lot of it, and it's just going to go for the Phase Boots Yule Scepter build here. Bot lane Filter looking for the tower. Stun up. He's going to go down though. Scrub doesn't use the ulti though. Now he does. Will be able to get the kill. Looking for the deny, I imagine, as well here as Slardar will be able to get the kill on the Bane mid lane. And it looks like Solitas looking for the Light Strike Array. General Manager can dodge that one out. Won't do it just yet though. Actually, he doesn't have enough cooldown for another 2 seconds. He's going to go down just as he gets his drums. The Laguna Blade saying hello. Goodbye. Solitas going to be able to get that kill, and kills all over the board. 3 down now for Team Chunch as they're kind of falling apart all over the board. Vengeful Spirit, very aggressive positioning right now. Bane going to go top yet again. Perhaps not learning for the first time. Does have the grip though. If he gets another TP in, could easily set up the grip onto the Slardar, but it looks like no, they're maybe thinking about, oh my gosh, this ward just going down. The Shadow Fiend very close to Solitas now. And what do we have in terms of vision? As it looks like There's the charge up now on a Solitas. He's going to use the Yule Scepter on the Shadow Fiend. Light Striker Ray not going to come in, but Nilla. There's the Blink Stun going to land on two. Solitas can turn this one around. He's still alive. Spooky Boogie trying to give the chance out, but Devin Wargod's going to trade his life. And now it looks like in a whole lot of trouble here. The Spirit Breaker does have charge off cooldown, but there it is. The Dragon Slave to secure the kill. 2-for-1 trade. A very nice gank coming up from the Radiant. A nice turnaround. Very important. The Shadow Fiend very far behind now. Only 16 souls. Picking up the Sage as well, and even that is not enough to keep him alive. Top tower will go down. Bane actually getting that one, not the PL, so Bane at least going to find himself with 900 gold. Could pick up the mana boots if he wants to do so. Mid tower going to go down over here to the Electric Panther experience, while bot tower, Scrub, even pushing that one down. Take a look at the net worths now, as the PL as well as the Shadow Fiend still sticking up there, but Nilla really playing this one out, playing exceptionally well. Getting that early Blink Dagger. Scrub still leading the board, but let's hold on to that thought, as looks like they do have vision here. The Bane looking for the Blink Stun. The Bane hid though, and they haven't seen him just yet. Anybody gonna walk by him? It looks like yes. Bane just gonna walk out after this one. They see 3 heroes in the top lane. Now they maybe aren't sure if they want to turn this one around. They do have Scrub, the smoke up, maybe the Regoose though. They don't have a whole lot of mana here. Just waiting for the Blink Stun. Who's going to go first? It's Solitas. Oh, they didn't really think that one through. The Darkseer in the back wall. Solitas with the Light Striker Ray. Dragon Slave. Scrub's going to go in on this one. And look at the damage. He's going to get gripped up. Solitas getting chased from General Manager in the backside. They're going to lose 2 for none. The charge now as well. Solitas is in a lot of trouble. They're going to turn this one around. It could be a 4-for-0 trade, as it looks like he's going to go down as well. Abaddon able to save Solitas there, but it looks like he may pay with his life. The charge up now as well. Solitas got to be careful. Light Striker Ray going to land shot to 3. Mac trying to stay alive as long as he can, but his ult's going to wear off now. Doesn't have a shield, and it will be a 4-for-0 trade on that one, as well as most likely this top tower here, as we do see the creeps inbound, and they've got quite a bit of damage. So what a disastrous team fight. Miscommunication there. Solitas using the SF, the Blink Crush from the Slardar, and oof. Not happy with that one whatsoever, I can imagine. SF now getting his souls right back. Almost has the completed SNY. Going to be very tanky target to try and burst down now. And there it is. Bounty Rune to finish it up here. Treads drums most likely into Manta on the PL now. Could be the Diffusal as well, but I think the Manta just helps him farm a bit more, and they don't really need the damage from the Diffusal just yet, as we do here. Light Striker Ray in this mid lane. There's the Laguna Blade as well. Nilla's going to Blink Stomp, and it looks like the Bane's going to go down, and it should be a 2-for-1 trade here, as the Vengeful Spirit does trade her life in order to keep the SF occupied while the Bane goes down here. So now 3 heroes in the mid lane, and it looks like they're just going to be comfortable jungling up here, but really Nilla, this guy, going for a medallion of all items here. So really, really, really going on that negative armor play here. And PL has so much armor just because of that base agility that he gets. 55 plus 31 agility as well. So rocking that 15 armor of Keela, of course, giving him a little bit of that as well. And they're just going to chew right through the entirety of that armor, though. And PL has to be a little bit careful here, especially when you have the ultimate here from the Sven, just giving so much damage. Got a nice bit of AoE, as long as they can chew through the illusions with the, not even the Light Striker Ray, but even just the Dragon Slave from Solitas, if they can just kind of pinpoint who the main illusion is. And are you kidding me? Filter going in on this one, he's just going to explode! What was that? Doesn't cancel the TP, giving up his life. The Dire trying to defend top now. Charge is going to go in on a Scrub, but they're going to have to cancel that one right before they get seen, as that was an absolutely terrible TP. A little bit aggressive. A lot bit aggressive there. As the Blink now picked up from Solitas, so quite a bit of initiation. Tons of single target pick off here as well. Probably going to be looking for the Aghanim Scepter after this, as the Bloodstone would really just slow down the rest of the items if you get it at this point. Usually try to get it early on, use it as a farming tool. And now a lot of heroes on the Radiant in the mid lane, even a Blink over here from the Sven. There's the Blink up, the Yule Scepter, Light Striker Ray to follow, looks like it will latch, and now the Stomp as well over here from Nilla, and just look at him explode. Roshan probably going to be the next target. They've got so much negative armor, Medallion, they've got the amp damage, they've got the only 1 point in a Wave of Terror, I guess. He is only level 7, but looks like they're not going to go for it just yet. Looking to clear out bottom tower, but with no Spirit Breaker for 20 seconds, that's probably all it would have taken them to chew through Roshan here. They've got the God Strength. I think you for sure popped the God Strength for that one. Haystream going to be used up here now, and it looks like they are going to try to turn this one around. Again, the Yules as well as the stun. SF maybe thinking he wants to turn this one around. Darkseer taking up quite a bit of damage. The SF probably could have gotten a Requiem off here. Now the rest of the teams here, they maybe want to turn this one around. There's the wall, the stun before you can get the back. Scrub's in a lot of trouble though. He's going to go down. The swap not going to really help out. Nilla with the 3-hero stun though, and they're going to turn this one around. Solitas got to be a little bit careful. There's the grip. Nilla's going to go down to continue the chase onto this one. And it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade so far. There's the charge up. The stun out will prevent him from getting stunned up. Light Strike Array only going to catch on one. And now Devin Wargod chasing this one. Aether as well. It looks like Nyar is going to go down the buyback as well. They want to turn this one around. There's the Light Strike Array going to land on another stun. General Manager. No Laguna Plane. It doesn't matter. Spooky's going to jump in here as well. Aether rotating in. And it looks like Solitas with the blink. Devin's going to offload the ultimate here. And it looks like Mac's going to pay with it for his life. Solitas, he's trying to run away from this one as Nilla's got to be careful not to give up the dieback here, and it looks like Solitas is probably going to go down. He's just so speedy though, they can't chase him, and they don't have the vision here. The Fog of War, Spooky though, there's the blink out. Able to get away. Nilla, the Yule Scepter, the stun again. There's the Light Strike Array. Scrub's going to jump in onto this one. And Devin, now he's in a lot of trouble. There's the stun, the right click. Spooky Boogie, the turnaround here. Amp damage as well as Nilla chasing this one. Has the stun. Light Strike Array as well. He's going to go down. And oh my god. What did I just witness? That fight was absolute madness. The buyback from Nilla, able to secure the PL here. And what kind of team fight are we looking at? This doesn't even paint the full picture. 1,200, 600 loss, 700 loss here. EXP, massive change just from those couple of kills. And maybe it's time we take a look at the net worth here. So, Team Chunch, they took a huge net worth advantage, lost it a little bit, continuing to do so. EXP as well. Electric Panther experience. This is probably about the time the buyback happened, and right after that you can just see it jump up almost instantaneously here. So a great play from Nilla there in order to help his team out, and it was so necessary. You know, maybe if they don't have the stun, the amp damage, they're unable to get the kill onto the PL there, and that was a fantastic fight from both teams. I think Nilla dying early on there really helped out his team, and unfortunately again the Yule Scepter as well as the stun just kind of messing them up a little bit there. But you kind of wonder how big that team fight could have been different if the SF just immediately channeled his ultimate. Probably could have hit on 2-3 heroes here. The rest of the team rotates in. You know, you get the wall. Perhaps they're a little bit scared and they're running away, so they don't stun him up before he gets backed, and just a little bit of an issue. We are going to have a pause out. 21-16, the Electric Panther experience, winning this one in terms of kills. And, you know, they're starting to bring it back. EXP, they're certainly still ahead. Net worth, just a little bit behind, only about 1,000. Probably because of the flash farming mechanism of the SF, as well as the PL, you know, being so much further ahead. That buyback really hurting Nilla, actually dropping below the Sven after buying back there. So, does buy back. How much gold does he have? Still has about 1,100 gold, so isn't that big of a deal. Managing to really help out there and get a few kills, fortunately for him. And now he'll just return to farming. I wonder if he's going to look for the straight Solar Crest, or maybe grab something even like a Blade Mail. Just be a little bit more annoying against the Shadow Fiend, as well as perhaps even the Darkseer here. And we do see, looks like it will be the Aghanim Scepter for Solitas. Pretty obvious choice, as we haven't talked about Mac that much, who looks like he will be going for the Guardian Greaves. So pretty nice pickup there, I guess. You know, he's not going to go for the Mana Boots all that often, but if he is, he's going to finish the full Guardian Greaves in order to do so. And quite nice because, you know, you can get rid of a stun. If you pop your ultimate, you're stunned up, you pop your ultimate, you can use Greaves maybe to save somebody. Sure, you don't have your ultimate, you know, to soak up a ton of damage when you're low and you know, almost dying, but it could be the difference between somebody living and somebody dying. Just you able to pop your ultimate, you Greaves, you got the shield, as well as potentially the Mist Coil to get enough of a heal on top of there as well. And surprisingly enough, nobody able to take Roshan just yet, as we are in an exceptionally close game mid lane. Now it looks like they're going to go into Devin Wargod. Salidas, not enough mana for his ultimate. There's the charge in. This is going to be a massive turnaround, as it looks like they tried for the swap. Scrub's going to rotate in. The PL able to get the kill, as well as the mega kill streak here. And now it looks like General Manager with the Diffusal Blade. Scrub's going to go down the grip here as well. Are we going to see a Roshan attempt? It looks like no. They're maybe just thinking about barreling down mid lane. They've managed to kill 2 cores for about 50 seconds here. PL, though, looks like no. They're going to go for the Roshan. They really need to as well, because if the Electric Panther experience is able to win a team fight, they're probably going to steal the Roshan for themselves. And Nilla doing a pretty good job of just split pushing here. Not really the greatest of split pushing heroes, so going to be unable to really pressure him. Look at this. He thinks they're ganking him. He's going to play this one so safe right now. And this is very unfortunate, because now Roshan is absolutely free. They're hardly split pushing. Their lanes are pushed in. And now they've got an Aegis with this mid lane incredibly pushed in. This bot lane as well. They could go for either lane here. But in fact, the PL is just going to TP top. Darkseer finishing up the mechanism now. Looking for most likely Guardian Greaves of his own here. Is PL just going to pressure out top lane. Nilla maybe thinking about going on it, but in all honesty, cannot do that. Spooky Boogie looks like he's going for a Vladimir's here, so really gonna help, you know, bolster that damage of his team. A nice 15% damage bonus, 5 armor bonus, a little bit of mana regen, a little bit of HP regen, of course the lifesteal as well, and it's gonna be quite nice. Nilla looking for the blink stun, won't hit it. Devin will be able to get out of that one. Just kind of run away. Is amp damage though, so they do kind of have vision on him. Have somewhat of an idea of where the team could be here. As now the charge up on Salidas. They do see it under the ward, and he does cancel it anyways. PL and Darkseer, meanwhile, though, doing a lot of work in this top lane, just pushing them out. Now they do have an exposed Rax. Perhaps the rest of the Dire could look to pressure this one out. It looks like they're going to go for it, though. And now the stun from both heroes. Nilla has to turn around, has the amp damage. There's the wall. No vac just yet. The swap back, though. Tries to do the soul ring into the vac, but instead going to go down. Nilla continuing the chase here. Has the stop in a second. Will use it. The amp damage, as well as the Scream of Terror there. The Wave of Terror. Going to be enough negative armor to easily blow him up. So getting a little bit greedy with that split push. And now they can't really do anything with that Aegis with a 3 versus 5. Gonna have to play a lot safer. Salidas blinking up. Phase Boots has the Yule Scepter if he needs to use it. Has the Blink Dagger. Not gonna do so though. Maybe looking for the SF. No, instead he will use it. There's the Yule Scepter. There's the Light Shook Array. Looking for the Sleep. Laguna Blade even gonna be used here. Now look at this. Now Devin Wargod's in a whole lot of trouble. Nilla actually missing the stun on that one, and he's gonna give it up. Very surprising that he backs off of that one. Even though he's got the Aegis, you can at least burn through the Aegis before you have to be worried about anything. It's 2 versus, you know, 5. Darkseer just respawning now. As Salidas now very close to the completed Aghanim Scepter, as well as the level 16, and that's going to be a lot of burst damage that they need. SF nowhere near the HP pool to last through that. Now he's going to be looking for the BKB, and it's far too late for that. Far too late. You probably need the either the Satanic or at least moving into a Scotty at this point. As the Laguna Blade being pure damage is just going to be absolutely terrible. You can get swap back. You can still get amp damaged. So, going to be really difficult for this SF. Going to have to position himself very well here. As General Manager, going to look to do the opponent's Ancients here. As try to be a little bit more efficient. Mid lane though. Still has the Aegis, but it doesn't matter. There's the Blink Stomp. Salidas with the Light Strike Array. Doesn't have the Laguna Blade mana just yet, and doesn't look like they need to use it. The stun actually going to catch Spooky Boogie there. Now they've got to back up. They've got no Darkseer. Light Strike Array going to miss out on that one. Actually, there's the stun. Yet again from Nilla. Going to get gripped up himself, though, and that's a bit of an issue. Salidas going to look for the Light Strike Array. He's actually going to go down as well. Now Max going to get charged up. Now he's going to go down. Look at the damage. This PL is hitting so hard right now. Diffusal Blade. He's going to try and TP out of this one. Can he do so? The sleep to prevent it, and it looks like he's going to go down here as well. It's going to be a 4-for-0 trade. They get the Aegis, but they trade the entire team, and now they're just going to barrel down the mid lane. They've got everybody that they need here, and this is an absolute disaster. Buyback only on the Vengeful Spirit here. They're just going to have to give up this Rax. Don't buy back on the Venge. She's got the 4-step triangles, but it just feels like Scrub is a little underwhelming here. He's got a lot of damage, and we have seen the damage, but, you know, they don't have that VAC, that RP, Black Hole, anything to really get these heroes in a close enough proximity that you just cleave through. I mean, there's a lot of them right now, but can't go in on that one alone. And now they're trying to look for the swap back, but they're not going to get anything out of it. So they lose their melee racks. Spooky Boogie with the charge bottom, and maybe Solitas can hope to get a trade kill on this one. There's the Light Strike Array. There's the Dragon Slave. Laguna Blade, the right clicks. No. Earn. It's going to be enough. Spirit Breaker almost getting out of that one. With 1,100 unspent gold, maybe if you had an Ogre Club, could have done so. Or perhaps a little bit more armor. As yeah, Devin, there he goes, finishing up his BKB here. And we did finish, yes, we did finish Aghanim Scepter on Solitas as Aether. Gotta be a little bit careful. They placed on the Observer Ward. Don't believe they saw him. Waiting for somebody to show mid lane. Devin, Filter, as well as General Manager. All of them here, though. And this could turn into a very, very messy team fight. As there it is, Solitas. They don't manage to use the stun this time. Light Strike Array, General Manager in a little bit of trouble. Nilla looking for the stop. Does get it. Is he going to be able to get into this one? Laguna Blade, no. Not enough mana. He's going to be able to get into this one. The Blink Up. They'll maybe be able to kill him. They will. 547 gold going the way of the Venge. Very well orchestrated on that one. Guardian Greaves now finished up by the Darkseer. As they will just TP top on Mac. Try to push out this wave. Scrub getting a little bit scared in the mid lane. Maybe think about going on it. Solitas isn't there. They've got to be careful. Scrub will just blink out. Nilla as well. Standing quite far back. Solar Crest now on him. As well as 800 gold. And looks like they're going to push out this wave and smoke up here. Maybe look to do the exact same that just happened to them. So here it is. Smoke going to be used from Spooky Boogie. No. Who's got it? Aether's got it. Looking for what I imagine is going to be not the refresher. Could be the refresher, but most likely going to be looking for that Lotus Orb. As it looks like they're looking in the jungle, but nobody's here, unfortunately. And instead, they're probably going to look towards the mid lane camp. Solitas just jumping in there now. Scrub as well. Mac's not nearby, so that could be a bit of an issue. Still no mechanism on Mac. Very, very unfortunate for this Abaddon here. Who may get caught out. Devin. Smoke's going to pop very soon right now. It's so close. Oh, he has the Invis Rune. So the Invis Rune doesn't have to worry about anything there. And maybe they don't expect the SF, but they are just going to wait in base. They know that they are behind right now. Behind they are. EXP, not so much, but net worth, surprisingly enough, only about 5,500. 6,000. Just not all that much. Especially for 31 minutes in. As it seems like we're going to quiet down from both teams here. Devin just going to continue to jungle here. PL, haven't really looked at his items lately, and looks like after getting the Diffusal, he's going to be looking for the Mantis Style here. I believe he's finished it as well. And no, it's going to be the full Scotty. So, full Scotty now finished up on General Manager. Bot lane, it looks like they'll be able to get the kill on a Bane, but is it even that big of a deal? I really wish I could have seen how much negative armor he had there. Guess we can calculate it. Negative 20. Only negative 3 on that one. So we're at 23, and then we've still got the Solar Crest here, which is, I think, 7. So about negative 30 armor. Quite a bit. Negative 33 armor, which not really many players can withstand. Even the PL here doesn't have all that much armor himself. Only 24. As now we see Nilla has to go back to this mid lane, push it out yet again. Sully just gonna look to do the same. Roshan respawning fairly early though, Only about a minute. And although they are 1 racks down, this game certainly is not over. All it takes is 1 Aegis on the side of Electric Panther experience to turn this one around. As Devin is looking for Roshan. Looks like they do have a timer. A lot of heroes just sitting around in the mid lane. 20 seconds for Roshan now. As the entirety of the Radiant really ready for this one as well. Do we have a smoke on anybody? It looks like no smokes. Top really pushing in though. They are going to have to TP back onto Scrub for that one. And now it looks like Solitas in the mid lane. The blink grip. He's almost certainly going to go down. The swap though doesn't cancel that. Now Solitas, there it is. Going to turn this one around. Yule Scepter. There's a big stun, but there it is. There's the BKB Requiem. Solitas is going to go down, has a buyback if he needs it. Nayar is going to go down as well. There's the sleep on a Mac. He's going to go down. They've got buyback on 2, but it's probably not going to be enough. Solitas buys back. Nayar probably going to do the exact same. Top racks is going to be exposed here as well. Once they're finished with mid, going to be just securing the full creep wave here. And looks like this could be game here for the Electric Panther experience. So there it is, Dragon Slave gonna be thrown down. And the Rax is gonna go down. Solitas maybe thinking about going in. Light Strike Array gonna land on 2 here. As well as the Dragon Slave. Nilla looking for the blink stun. Does manage to get 2. A nice blink out from Bane. There's the stun as well. Just look at the cleave damage from Scrub. Immediately getting slept on. Solitas tries to jump in. He's just gonna get stunned up. It looks like maybe Spooky's gonna trade his life for this one. TP in now from back. Spooky still alive. Really just chasing 4 heroes onto 1 Spirit Breaker, and he's still alive. He's gonna get stunned up. Not gonna be securing that kill. General Manager almost getting stunned up here. Looks like he should be able to get out, and now trying to turn around and turn tail, and it looks like he will be able to do so. Solitas missing on that Light Strike Array, and that's gonna be it. They managed to get the top melee racks, not the range, but now they are 2 racks down, and it's gonna be very easy to get Roshan as these lanes are gonna be continuously pushing in. Greaves gonna be used here as well, as we do have the Hyperstone picked up on the Shadow Fiend. Perhaps going to be looking for the Assault Cures here. And it looks like Lotus Orb now finished up on Aether, I believe. Huh. Oh god. Looks like both teams pretty happy with each other. Probably play each other a lot along. And the offlaners just always best of friends. Yeah, Nilla really dominating his lane there. Obviously, you can see why he wants to go back instead, though. Team Chunch really pulling ahead in this game. I do remember last time they little bit of alt chat going on. Not sure. Can't remember who it was. Maybe it was the Bane. I don't even know. Oh god. Some nice jokes to at least fill in this pause time. Still with the pauses. Team Chunch, favorites of the Electric Panther experience. A name that is very annoying to say, in all honesty. Very long. Can't really... I guess you could say the Electric Panthers. Panthers, maybe shorten it some way like that, but... As a long pause, considering this game's almost over, they probably should have just tried to fight it out, and if you needed this much time, just use it in between games. As they probably could have just ended it or lost. Roshan probably going to be the next target here, and really if Radiant wants to come back, they need to get this Roshan. They need to find themselves, you know, a couple team fight wins off of that, because just one isn't going to help out at all. They're at about a 10k net worth, 4k EXP, but just one, they're going to need probably 2 or 3 team fights, or at least maybe just one where they do a full wipe close to the enemy base and they've got no buybacks. That's really all it takes, but you know, with 2 of the 3 lanes pushing out, they've still got their tier 2s intact. You're most likely going to need 2, maybe 3 team fights before anything can happen. As it seems now we're going to hit the political side of AD2L Season 9. Really would like to know what we're waiting for, but SoCal Cool Cat. And I'm just here in freezing cold Canada. I do like the Vlad's pickup. At least going to give them 5 bonus armor. Once they get the AC, they'll have another 5, so they're going to have a nice 10. Even the Guardian Greave's going to give them some bonus armor as well. So they're at least able to get some of it back like that. Learning quite a bit about the American geography. You know, if you're not in SoCal or Seattle, you're missing out. And if you live in Alabama, you're a redneck, not a farmer. So pretty interesting stuff here as our pause still continues on. Certainly not the most exciting pause. Solitas with a nice 1700 gold, so could look to grab something. Probably going to look to just turn into the full right-click Lina, I think. That's the only way they really get around this one. Maybe look for the machine gun, the Daedalus. And then probably not the Deso. I don't think you need that much. And yeah, ETA is right. You get the Daedalus, you get the Sheep Stick, and from that point on, you're just all the more effective. Gonna need, of course, the Boots of Travel in order to deal with not having a TP. So, gonna need a lot of gold over here on the Lina, but yeah, if you can get that Daedalus, if you can get that Sheep Stick, of course, giving you some nice damage. Oh god. If anybody wants to make the swap to League of Legends, now is the time. Looks like the pause is coming off now, and Solitas is back, everybody. So here we go, gonna jump right into it. Is Nilla gonna pause? Classic family. And it seems like we're going to go for the Roshan now. So Rosh going to run right in. Radiant, they did have a little bit of vision here. I guess they saw the Bane probably walking down. But can they stop it? Realistically, I don't believe so. PL going to look through the jaunt across the wall here. Should be able to do so. There it is. Nice little jaunt. Going to pop that. Looks like a charge up even being used on Roshan now. And Filter getting a little bit low, but has the Greaves. And there's the Aegis now onto the SF. So this is when it gets very scary. This is when we're looking at, are the Panthers just looking at what they can do better next game? Are they still thinking about this game? Because realistically, I don't think they have the damage to get through this. It's going to be very difficult. They could maybe kill the SF once, but probably not twice, unless you have Refresher Laguna or something like that.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
TP is coming down bot lane from Solitas, and looks like they are going to get ready now. This is it. We do have buyback. No buyback on Solitas, actually. Did just spend all his gold on a crit. Nilla, no buyback. So, I mean, I guess we could check buyback status. Only SF. And actually, pretty well, no, it's Scrub actually setting himself up. There's the back, the wall. Scrub gonna use the BKB. Devin actually getting quite low and still has his BKB. Just getting all his HP back with that lifesteal. He's going to go down to the Laguna Blade, but Solitas is going to trade his life. Yule Scepter trying to keep him alive a little bit longer. Nilla with the crush. Not going to matter, though, and that's going to be GG. Solitas is going to call it. Max is going to go down here as well. It's going to be a 4 for Aegis, and that's going to be about it. So it looks like Team Chunch playing this one exceptionally well. I did like their draft a little bit more. Sven wasn't really comfortable with him. I think a Juggernaut probably would have been a lot better, but it wasn't only the draft. It was also a little bit of play and everything. So good game to Team Chunch. They're going to take game 1. We're going to jump right into game 2. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to check out some of my other videos. I have my series from lane to lane where I just cast some everyday pubs that you guys send me. I also do some more professional pubs like games from Koikva, Miracle, whoever I can get my hands on from Dodo Buff. I have a learning series as well, so feel free to check that out. There's some more info in the description as well as some videos linked in the annotations at the end here. Thanks a lot.